popular destination for eventing and conferences, hosting local and global events and discussions. Our focus this morning is on one of Durban's most popular event venues, the Inkosi Luthuli International Convention Centre. We take a look at how the venue has survived the lockdown and their plans to reopen under level 1. Let's go live to our colleague Simphiwe Makhanya in Durban. Simphiwe, what's the ICC management saying this morning?
Certainly it is. KwaZulu-Natal is one of those provinces that rely heavily on domestic and international tourists. When the Premier of KwaZulu-Natal on Saturday held his weekly media briefing, he did say that the province's economy has contracted by about 30 billion rand since the start of the national lockdown, many people losing their jobs. But we are outside the Inkosi Luthuli International Convention Centre, which which does not need any introduction in terms of tourists coming here to hold their meetings and gatherings. To speak to us more about how this has affected them, I'm now joined by Scott Landley, who speaks on behalf of the Durban ICC. Mr. Landley, thank you very much for your time. Perhaps just a brief reflection of how this lockdown has affected the ICC.
Yes, thanks very much for having us. The lockdown and the pandemic has hit us very hard, as they've hit everyone in the tourism community, and the Durban ICC certainly not exempt from that. You know, we've seen a number of events have to cancel, have to postpone, and we calculate our losses at about 165 million rands worth of lost business during this year as a result of that pandemic. So it's been very tough times for us as the Durban ICC.
What are those events that we have had to cancel as a result of the lockdown?
Yeah, some of the major events that we've lost this year were the Africa's Travel in Durban, the World Football Summit, the Comrades Marathon Expo, Decorex Durban had to cancel at the last minute, and the list just goes on and on. So we're used to hosting major events in the thousands of delegates, and with the restrictions in the number of delegates that we've had to host, we've had to force ourselves to become very innovative and move into different formats like hosting events online, and so that's what we've done. We've had to come up with new ways of assisting our clients to still be able to do their events in different ways, and so that's what we've done. We've got into that space last year already by being able to live stream events from our premises and assist our clients to reach audiences that are still in the thousands and tens of thousands by doing things that way.
Scott, we know obviously that a lot of people have lost their jobs during this time. Have you had that situation here?
Well, we've embarked on very extreme cost-cutting measures, and while we haven't had to lay off any of our permanent staff members yet, we did all of our fixed-term contract workers, when their fixed-term contracts came to an end, we weren't able to renew those contracts, so we had to release those workers, which is obviously a heartbreaking situation for us. But those are the times that we're living in. With the reduced revenue that we've got, those are the measures that we've had to put into place.
Is there anything more that the government can do to ensure that job losses are prevented from occurring?
Yes, so we are obviously very encouraged by the President's latest announcement of moving to level 1, opening up the borders and seeing the international flights resume. But any measures that can kickstart the tourism industry again, we would really welcome, because tourism really is the lifeblood of South Africa, and the more that we can do, any measures that we could see coming to pass to promote tourism, especially business events tourism, which has such a large influence on creating jobs and boosting GDP in South Africa, we would really welcome that, so that we could just put a halt to the job losses and get the economy going again. Because the business events industry, the conference industry, is such a catalyst for getting all of those sectors going again, because the discussions that happen at those conferences and the events are the things that actually get those sectors going and growing again.
In terms of your staff complement, Scott, have you had to reduce them during this time, or it's normal?
Well, we haven't laid off any of the permanent staff, so our staff are really either working remotely or working responsibly on site. So we've put in the measures like social distancing, making sure that we've got all of the sanitizers. We do a pre-screening through an app that they've got on their phones, and then just make sure that everyone working on site is doing so in a responsible and safe manner.
Obviously, we are now on level 1. What are the measures that you have put in place to ensure that you adhere to these new regulations?
So we value the health and safety of everyone that enters our door, whether that's our staff or whether that's our guest, as our top priority. So what we've done is we've combined the regulations from the national regulations, as well as the local bylaws, as well as the World Health Organization's protocols for meetings, and we've made that our standard. So we do the pre-screening of the guests that come through. We do health and safety checks on all of the people that come through. We do the sanitizers, the hand sanitizers are posted throughout the venue. We do a COVID-19 briefing at the start of every meeting. And we feel that this is really every safety measure that can be thought of. We feel that we've implemented this because we've got to adhere to an international standard here as an international convention center, and the last thing that we want is anyone to feel unsafe when they come through our doors. So that's what we've put in place to instill confidence, to make sure everybody feels safe when they're hosting their events with us now at level 1.
Obviously, some of your clients, like the Durban Fashion Fair, have decided to go virtual, even though we are still on level 1. Isn't that going to affect your business?
Absolutely not. We think this is the future of conferencing and events, and we'll never get to that point, as wonderful as the technology is, that people will stop meeting face to face. People love that interaction. People want to meet with other people. What the technology of the virtual events does, it just helps people reach a greater audience. It helps them to open up new revenue streams and make perhaps more money through their events, and to create a greater following through their events. And that's certainly the approach that we've taken as the Durban ICC by investing in this kind of technology, and we've seen great success for our clients who have taken this route. They can still have their event live here, even if it's 250 people, but they can reach an event that's 100 or 1,000 times that size by live streaming that event on various platforms, and we feel this is the future of eventing, even after COVID is a thing of the past, just because of what it enables them to do in creating followings, reaching greater audiences, and monetizing their events in new ways. And we're really ready to help clients do that in the future.
Scott, lastly, obviously there are people watching who may be from abroad wanting to host their events here. What is your message to them?
Durban and South Africa is open for business. We've got wonderful tourism experiences here. We've got beautiful beaches. We've got fantastic dining experiences. We've got the Drakensberg, which is just a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity that they really should take advantage of. We've got the Big Five experiences here in South Africa. We've got so much to offer. We've got a world-class convention center here. We've got everything that a modern convention delegate could expect, and we really are open for business. As we are bidding for these events in future years, really it's something that they really should take advantage of, and with the exchange rate where it is now, they can really get it for a song.
Scott, thank you very much for your time. That's Scott Langley. He speaks on behalf of the Durban ICC. With that, it's back to you in Johannesburg.
Thank you so much, Simphiwe. Now, a man is